Slap on your grocery bags and do the lizard slide. Spider-Man the game faces off against Spider-Man the movie.
Fly!
What's worse than a bad first impression? Remember that time you were delivering pizzas and found yourself in the janitor's cupboard? Or when you accidentally on purpose pimp slapped your ex? Let's take a moment of silence for these poor souls. The blank page is the first boss of a screenwriter, and in the opening minutes of your story, you must decorate the white space with establishing tone, the world, and the characters within it. And a hook so undeniable that we are compelled to buckle in for the ride. Insomniac Games immediately webs us up with this masterclass opening. A juicy single-take tracking shot glides through Peter Parker's disheveled, rinky-dink apartment, painting an entire canvas of the hero's world, his professional obstacles, emotional conflicts, and the principal theme, all neatly packaged into a 2-minute cinematic feast. Audiences don't want a 3-page monologue as the protagonist tells us how they like their eggs. We need them to show us their Sunnyside skills. Dry fucking toast. Get this man some cookies.
You got any with nuts?
Production design isn't just visual dressing, it's a tool to flesh out the world and your characters. So we're not just seeing 2 money jars, we're seeing the endless battle between Peter's desires and his responsibilities as Spider-Man. Since his first comic appearance in 1962, this has been Peter Parker's true villain, the internal war between his duties as a hero and life as an ordinary guy, which to this day makes Spider-Man the most relatable superhero ever inked.
My back! Oh, my back!
With just skillfully placed props and fluid cinematography, 1,000 words have been said, yet only a single word is spoken.
Fisk.
The impact of that one word and the urgency of the delivery gives the audience everything they need to know about Peter's priorities, but even more importantly, thrusts us and our hero into action with the hook that drives the story.
You are everything that's wrong with this city!
But as Spidey steps out ready to lay off the smackdown, life hits him with the rock bottom when an overdue rent bill slides under the door, forcing Peter into a split-second tug-of-war between his crumbling life and the crimes outside. The stakes are now laid out, and when Peter snubs the bill and defiantly leaps out the window, we understand the sacrifice that makes him a hero.
Come on.
And then boom. Let's marvel at that sudden explosion of light and colours, the swooping camera racing to keep up, and a bustling New York City growing in front of our eyes. It's a far cry from the beige, lifeless apartment we've just lived in, and maybe we're starting to understand Peter's decision to jump out that window. 2002 was a wild year. We were chucking babies off balconies, this was our sexiest man alive, and we really hated sand.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
But on this year, a tree-loving, visionary filmmaker would come along and change the superhero genre forever. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man introduced the masses to the everyday struggles of Peter Parker, a teen cursed with an extraordinary gift. But the smartest move this director made was taking the boy under the mask and making the war within him the face and heart of the movie.
We got the shooter. He's headed south on 5th Avenue. We got 3 cars in pursuit. All right, folks, come on, help us out. Move back.
Just give me a chance!
What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance? Did you?
Like the game, the film opens with a potent punch with the simple act of missing the school bus. Every colour on screen pops with comic book vibrancy, and the supporting characters are one coat of paint away from a cartoon. Check out the skillful design of Kirsten Dunst's MJ. Her fiery red hair symbolizes love and fierce resolve. The warm, key lighting from the bus windows softens her features, while the purple and green costume embodies her bold personality. Through Peter Parker's POV, it's clear who holds his heart. It's a masterful blend of comic book visuals and grounded realism, and a showcase of Raimi's expert handling of tone. Our reveal of Tobey Maguire's Peter is through this rear view mirror, a cramped box-like frame that tells us everything we need to know. This kid is always behind, always chasing, always trapped. But within that struggle, we see his tenacity and refusal to give up, the very qualities that will define him as Spider-Man. I love Peter's hand desperately slapping the window, almost foreshadowing his first climb, the moment he breaks free from his downtrodden life and becomes something extraordinary.
Stop the bus!
Stop the bus! Stop! He's been chasing us since Woodhaven Boulevard.
But Spider-Man's not the hero yet, and it's MJ who saves the day, standing up to the bullies and forcing the driver to stop the bus. The final shooting script describes this as, MJ can't take it anymore. She jumps up, hurries to the front of the bus, and shouts over the laughter. She's been fighting the urge to speak because it's scary to stand against the masses. It's a courageous act that echoes throughout the film as Spider-Man saves MJ again and again and again. Not that one. But MJ's defense is short-lived, and just as Peter thinks he's home free, life sends him crashing back down. Our protagonist doesn't have to save a cat for us to care, but they must be someone we are compelled to root for. The underdog is the ultimate cheat code for this, and when we read, Peter looks up at her, helpless, glasses dangling from one ear. We've all been there, we've all felt behind, staring up at the insurmountable odds, and we know there is no sweeter taste than persevering and overcoming. The climb becomes all the more epic when we're at the bottom.
My back!
Two intros, two mediums, both under 2 minutes, bursting with rich details, visual storytelling, and expertly crafted tones. They lay the perfect trail of breadcrumbs to hook audiences and keep them swinging along for the ride. And we've only just begun. Stay tuned for part 2 of our Spidey breakdown, where we deep sea dive to discover which tentacle-wielding GP reigns supreme. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the drop. And until next time, that is a wrap.
Pizza time.
You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.